مجمع الأندلس التعليمي، تعلم عصري ملهم بهوية وطنية وقيم إسلامية.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, this is Mr. Mohanned again with you and with a new lesson. So please prepare yourselves and your books. So we are going to begin with a new unit. It's Unit 4, Job Seeking. And with our new objectives, we have only two for today's lesson, which are 1. Match 4 speakers, each with the correct statement, and 2. Act out dialogue, asking for personal details. First of all, say which problem you think is the most serious and which is the least serious, giving reasons for your choices. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6 problems. I'm going to demonstrate these problems with some GIFs. This is 1. Losing or deleting an important document. Delete, delete, delete. Would this make a problem to you with your boss? Yes, I think so. 2. Having to work overtime. Yes, look at this guy, he's working overtime and he's looking at his watch. 3. Working long hours. Look at this guy here, he's working on his computer in his office for long hours. 4. Having an argument with the boss. Look at this GIF, this is a boss and he's telling of one of his employees. 5. Giving a bad presentation. In companies, especially economical ones, you need to do some presentations as an employee. Sometimes your presentation goes wrong. Sorry. The final one, not being able to make a deadline. You could not end work, so you are not able to make a deadline. So I think that the most serious problem or the most serious issue in a workplace is not being able to make a deadline. This is for me, I don't know for you guys, but I think that not being able to make a deadline is very serious and it could get you fired. Okay, now we are going to listen to 4 people talking about their work. Match the speakers with the statements from A to E. There is one extra statement which you do not need to use. I need you first to read these statements before you listen to any audios. 1 or A. This person does not enjoy their job because they have to work long hours. B. This person is bored at work and is thinking of a career change. C. This person likes their job because they enjoy working with people. D. This person is disappointed because their career does not have good prospects. And the final one, this person did not like their job at first, but now enjoys it very much. Okay, now I'm going to play the audio and you are going to match 4 statements, not 5, 4 statements with each speaker. We have 4 speakers here. You need to match each statement with the correct speaker. I'm leaving you now with the audio. Then I'm going to ask you to answer it.
4B. Listening. Listen to 4 people talking about their work. Match the speakers with the statements A to E. There is one extra statement which you do not need to use. Speaker 1.
When I was a young girl, we used to go abroad on holiday every year, and I always looked forward to flying to different places. My dream was to become a flight attendant one day. At school, I made a big effort in the foreign language classes, and I'm sure that helped me do well in my interview with Golden Air, the company I now work for. I've been a flight attendant for 15 years so far, and have travelled to destinations all over the world. At first, it was exciting to see so many exotic places and meet lots of interesting people. However, after all these years, I'm beginning to feel frustrated, as there are really no opportunities to have better pay or more responsibilities. You see, I am quite an ambitious person.
Speaker 2.
I work in a large hospital in the centre of town. It was a proud day for me when I graduated from medical school and got my first position here 10 years ago. I really wanted to make a difference, and I felt enthusiastic about working with other hospital staff to improve the lives of patients. Things didn't turn out exactly as I'd expected, though. I found the first few years extremely challenging, and there was no time to appreciate the work. I had to do a lot of overtime, which meant several sleepless nights each week. This was exhausting, and I began to wonder if I'd made the right career choice. Eventually, that initial stressful period ended, and life as a surgeon became less hectic. I have no doubt at all now that this is the job I want to do until I retire.
Speaker 3.
My brother is much older than me, so he started his first job while I was still in primary school. His career's advice to me was to do something I enjoyed and not think about the money. But I didn't listen to him. Instead, I got a job at a bank when I left school and have been there ever since. The income is good and the prospects are excellent. I'm just not willing to work there for the rest of my life. It simply isn't exciting enough for me. I'd prefer to do something like working with animals or mountain rescue. So last week, I started applying for jobs in zoos and wildlife parks, not just here, but anywhere in the world. My brother was right. A job has to be rewarding and enjoyable to keep you motivated.
Speaker 4.
I left school with few qualifications. I just wasn't into studying back then. Most of my friends went to university, but I was eager to start earning money as soon as possible. The first job I got was in a department store, where I made lots of great friends. I managed to save enough money to travel all over Europe, which was amazing. When in Madrid, I worked for 6 months as a tour guide for British and American visitors. That was fun and really sociable. When I came back home, I made up my mind to train for a job dealing with the public, as I'd learned that this was something I both enjoyed and was good at. There was a hotel management course at the local college, so I enrolled in that 5 years ago. I'm currently working at a 5-star hotel, and I love it.
Okay, now you have listened or finished listening. Please provide me with the correct answers. First of all, what do you think is the statement that has not to do or has nothing to do with our speakers? Well, it's A. Yes, this person does not enjoy their job because they have to work long hours. And the answers would be Speaker 1, D, yes. Speaker 1 is disappointed because their career does not have good prospects. Speaker 2 did not like their job at first, but now he or they enjoys it very much. And Speaker 3, he feels bored at work and is thinking of a career change. Speaker 4 likes their job because they enjoy working with people. Okay, now let's move on to the next slide. I want you all to discuss in groups or pairs. Which do you enjoy more, working alone or working with other people, and why? The next one is, would you prefer to work in a variety of outdoor locations, or would you prefer to work indoors in the same surroundings, and why? For the first question, I think that I enjoy working with other people. Why? Because it's boring when you work alone for long hours. When you work with more than one person, when you work with people, time passes by quickly. The second one, which would you prefer to work? Would you prefer to work in a variety of... Yes, exactly. Certainly, I would like to work in outdoor locations because it will be fun. Let's move on to the next slide. Now, please, you need to divide yourselves into student A and student B. Student A is going to ask questions, so please open your student's book page 74 and you will have a form. You need to ask questions to the student next to you. At home, you may ask these questions to a family member. You will ask about the name, the date of birth, email address, availability for work, and many more things. You can pause here and return back when you are finished, or you can send me your answers on WhatsApp. Now look at this activity. I need you all to match these indirect questions with the correct information. You can pause here and answer these or this, or do this exercise later. The answers are as the following. Availability for work. Okay, thank you. Now let's talk about the type of work you want and when you are available to work. Okay, now how would you describe yourself? This is a question for personal qualities. Hello, first let me begin by asking you your name, date of birth, and email address. This is the name, date of birth, and email address. Now, what languages do you speak and what's your level of proficiency in them? That's very nice. Now, what are your future plans? And have you got any hobbies? Right. Do you have any relevant qualifications or experience? This is the most important question in a job interview. And the final one, do you have a driving license and your own transport? For your homework, please open your workbook page 45 on exercise C and complete the dialogue with these statements or questions and statements from A to F. Thank you everyone for paying attention and see you next time.